How can I improve my memory? How can I recall more of the words that I am diligently studying in order to increase my vocabulary? Now, interestingly, all over the world, as we give these lectures and courses, we ask those that attend our seminars and courses, of 100 words that you are diligently trying to remember, how many are you forgetting? Now, you might be surprised at the answer. Generally, the answer is 50 to 90%. That is, when people have a list of 100 words, they're forgetting 80 or 90 of them. They're only remembering 10 or 20 of those words. I was really surprised that in one seminar, we had a Japanese couple there. We asked them the question, how many words are you forgetting? Totally shocked that they were forgetting 90% of the words they were trying to recall. Now, they were Japanese studying Chinese, which is a language that's in the same family, similar to Spanish and Italian. And we know the reputation of the Japanese and their memories. Yet they were forgetting 90% of what they were trying to study. So now the question is, why that high failure rate? How can we improve that? Well, over 100 years ago, a Swiss educator discovered something very interesting. If you study something one day, you recall about 25% of that material. If you study the exact same material 2 days in a row, now you recall about 50% of that material. If you study that same material 3 days in a row, guess what happens? Now you'll recall up to 75%. 4 days in a row, and you hit that sweet spot of recalling 90 to 95% of the words, grammar structures, etc. that you're trying to recall. Isn't that our goal? Is to remember things? To move them from our short-term memory to our long-term memory? Of course. Now, we've studied university courses and textbooks all over the world. We've not seen any course that follows this 4-day circadian study cycle, as we call it. People are forgetting. We want you to improve your memory. Now, what are some ways to do that? First of all, obviously, study the same material 4 days in a row. Now, why does that work? One reason is this. Researchers tell us that as we sleep, for example, between day 1 and day 2, while we're asleep, during rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep, things move from our short-term memory and they migrate over into our long-term memory. So with this cycle, between day 1, day 2, you've got REM sleep. Between day 2 and day 3, you have REM sleep. And between day 3 and day 4, REM sleep. 3 opportunities for your brain naturally to move things from short-term over to long-term memory. So follow that cycle 4 days in a row. Now, it's kind of related to that is how much do I need to study each one of those days? Well, you'd be surprised that what experts really recommend, 10 words per day, no more. Okay, 10 or 12. 10 or 12 words a day is realistic. If you study 4 or 5 days in a row, you'll be studying about 50 words a week. 50 weeks in a year, you get 2 weeks vacation. 50 weeks in a year, you're going to be up to 2,500 words in your first year. Now, if you've been listening to the other video clips, now you're getting very close to that 3,000 magic number, the high-frequency words in the global core vocabulary. That's your goal, is 3,000 words, so you'll have a minimal working proficiency in your target language. But 10 words a day, that doesn't seem like a lot. Well, let me tell you another story about Frank and Mark. Frank and Mark were both studying Chinese. Both took the exact same course out of the exact same book. Now, Mark took this course stretched out over a 6-month period. Frank, unfortunately, took the same course jammed and squeezed into a 3-month period. So what happened is one day Mark and Frank are working together, And Mark's using all these words, all these Chinese words, and Frank's like, what's that mean? Where'd you get that? Oh, it's in a course I took. I took the same course. What happened here? Too much material squeezed into too little time overburdens the memory. We simply cannot recall 30, 40 words a day. Even 20 is too many. So be reasonable with your circadian spaced cycle, your circadian spaced repetition. 10 words a day, 12 words a day, 50 words a week, 2,500 words a year. Now, in conclusion, we might just mention Pimsleur, this world-famous audio language learning system, in 90 days or 3 months, only covers about 400 or 500 words. So students that are audio learners are able to absorb that because they're not cramming so much information into a short period of time. And Pimsleur uses this repetition system of repeating things over 2 and 3 and 4 days. So, circadian spaced repetition, what does it mean? Study 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, study 4 days in a row, the exact same material, and see if your recall rate doesn't get up to 90 or 95%.